Good evening. Seeing it's 6 o'clock, we're going to officially start our meeting. Could we stand to pledge the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll have a moment of silence. Tammy, would you call a roll call of members?
Clifford Adams.
Here.
Patty Anderson. Here. Carrie Armaglass.
Here.
John Burke.
Here.
Brady Fife. Diane Page. Here. Jeff Powell. Eric Sumlin.
Here.
Kelly Savoy.
Here. Thank you. Do we have any questions or discussion about the minutes from the March 11th workshop meeting and the March 18th voting meeting? If not, would someone like to make a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Diane's the first, Eric's the second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so we're going to move on to public participation. Do we have anybody from the public that's here tonight to discuss something with the board? Okay, not seeing any. We'll get to the best part. We have some presentations this evening. And we're going to start with Mrs. Jessica Namelli and her students who had a STEM presentation. Actually, it was a competition, right? Okay, so you want to tell us a little about what it did and how it went? You can pull it down and see if I can get it.
Yeah, I got it. Good evening. We would like to thank you, the school board, for inviting us tonight. As you know, we are here to talk about our experience at the 2024 STEM Connects Challenge held at the Clarion YMCA on Thursday, April 4th. First, let us introduce ourselves. I am Lily. I'm from 5th grade, and I was in the group AC Valley Huskers. I'm Alyssa. I'm from 5th grade, and I'm from the SWAT area. I'm Jocelyn, and I'm from 5th grade, and I'm from the SWAT area.
I'm Brooklyn, and I'm from 5th grade, and I'm from the AC Valley Huskers.
I'm Callie, and I'm in 5th grade, and I'm from the SWAT area.
I'm Maverick. I'm from the 5th grade, and I'm from AC Valley Huskers.
I'm Landon, I'm from 6th grade, and I'm from the Pester.
I'm Noah. I'm in 6th grade, and I'm at part of the Water Boys.
Our elementary school sent 18 to the competition. Oh, sorry.
Hello, my name is Jacob Long, and I am in the 6th grade, and I'm from the Pest Crew group.
I'm Presley. I'm from 5th grade, and I'm in the AC Valley Huskers.
Our elementary school sent 8 teams to the competition. We competed against 4 other school districts: Clarion, Red Bank Valley, Cranberry, and Oil City. Our objective was to use the engineering design process to invent a high-tech robot that can improve conditions in the agricultural field. No pun intended. We were allowed to use an unlimited amount of Connect pieces. To get started, we used the engineering design process as a guide. What's this process?
Let us explain. 1. Identify a problem farmers are faced with and do our research. 2. Are there any other robots that exist that solve this problem? If there isn't a robot that solves this problem, what idea can we come up with that would? We discussed possible solutions, played with the Connect pieces, and came up with a rough sketch of a possible design. 3. What is the criteria? What would our invention be required to do? 4. Time to build. This is the fun part. We share ideas with each other and our building skills to build a prototype demonstrating our solution. 5. Then we get to test it. Does it work in the way that it is intended to? What works, what doesn't? what adjustments need to be made. 6, make adjustments if needed and test again.
Additional requirements. Once we completed our prototype and got it in working order, we were required to make a blueprint. Some of us used tinkercad.com to draft a blueprint. Others used pictures of their build as blueprints. We were required to keep a journal to help guide us through this process. Our entries were expected to be organized with correct punctuation, capitalization, and spelling. Each team was also created a presentation board of their invention, even though this was not required. Our team made sure to include creative design and additional information about our idea.
Once we built our inventions here at school and got everything established, we had to tear it down again. None of the pieces could be put together prior to the competition. The teams were given 2 hours to rebuild their prototype. At the beginning of the competition, some teams could do it in 20 minutes. Some took the entire time. When they're finished, the judges came around to listen to each team's presentation. This is where our speaking skills came into place. We knew they needed to make a good impression, so we wrote a script and practiced presenting prior to the event. Some of us dressed up in costumes or had special t-shirts made to enhance our presence.
2 of our teams came home with an award. The 6th grade mushers won the most creative award with their Pumbaa. Our 5th grade team, the Smart Eggs, won the Challenge Success Award for their Smart Egg.
We would like to thank you for approving our trip to this competition. All of our members are very grateful for being able to participate in this event because it was a great opportunity to inspire creativity and improve our engineering skills. We hope to take what we have learned about this process and compete again next year. Thank you and have a good evening.
Further examples from 4 of our teams. We had 22 kids sign up this year, which was a lot, but they all did a really good job and they worked really hard. They worked for 2.5 months on these. But these are 3 or 4 of the presentation boards. One of our teams, the Smart Eggs, they rebuilt their prototype so that you could get an idea of what they were doing. The rest of the teams, they had to tear them apart after the competition, and we really just didn't have time for everybody to rebuild, but we at least want to have one example for you. But thank you so much for that opportunity, and we hope we get to do it next year. Thank you for coming and taking the time, and Mrs. Vanelli, we really appreciate all the hard work you do, because it's a lot of extra work to do stuff like that, and we know it takes a lot of your own personal time, so thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Good job.
Good job, folks. You did a great job, really. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so our next presentation is from Dave and Kirsten Wolf with pets, and also Melody Trout with the OD, who is our ODR counselor. We're doing a
Yeah, I'm looking.
Y'all ready? I'm not gonna stand behind the podium if that's okay. All 3 teams here, I just gotta move around a little bit. My name is Dave Wolf. My wife's Kirsten Wolf, is our co-director of COP. We're here today to talk to you about a program that we're bringing, partially brought to this school district. We want to make it bigger, and we want to talk to you guys about it, so you guys are informed, so that we can move ahead. Okay, so who we are. Okay, Wolf's Youth Employability Solution is a small business run by my wife and myself. We've been in business, I guess this is the third year now? We're the third summer now. Okay. We have over 40 years combined experience working with special needs students. I taught for 18 years. She taught, she supervised, she did all kinds of things of that nature as well. We're an OVR provider that works with students in Clarion, Venango, Forest, and Crawford counties. And we're currently running other programming at the ACV district with my wife. Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to become established with teens here in high school. What I do is called the Professional Connections Foundation. It's funded through OVR. The early reach coordinator's name is Bridget Rosardi. And so Peggy Plowman, Mrs. Plowman, had an interest to get my program established with some of her students that have IEPs. And it has been a whirlwind. Your AC Valley kids are remarkable. They're engaging, they're instructable. I take them into community business visits and they're interacting with business employers and it's been great. So what I did was, in my first group I had, I think 4 students ended up finishing. There are the young men up in the corner there. The second group that I had, we just finished. I finished with 6 boys in that group. And what the Professional Connections Foundation is, it's a 30-hour program where the first 15 hours takes place in the classroom. And I designed my curriculum around the 4 standards in Pennsylvania for career work. And I just take it to a bunch of different levels. The kids get to know kind of what their interests are, what they're good at, what they're not so good at. And then we take a look at really kind of drilling down into where they see themselves going right now. So it really takes them out of the school. The second 15 hours, again, we go into the community, we visit local businesses, manufacturers, and things like that. 2 of the students that I engaged with through this Professional Connections actually just received jobs today up at the plaza. That's through something called the paid work experience. The students all got paid to participate in my program, in that PCF program. It's a total of $325 for the stipend that they each receive from us through OVR. So they're very motivated to come and learn. There are certain targets that I look for. I communicate with the special ed teachers. I give them feedback. Your administration has been amazing to work with to support the students. The next transition then is what's called the paid work experience. And that's where Melody comes in and works directly as the vocational rehabilitative counselor. When students want a direct service from OVR, Melody works with them and decides when they're eligible to get a paid work experience. So it's 90 hours in total. The jobs are selected based on something that they may want to do and where they may want to work. Other times it's us getting to know them and saying, hey, you really need some like core job readiness skills, how to take directions, how to finish the task, how to show up to work on time. Our job trainers are all, most of them are full-time employees already and they work with us part-time in the evenings and weekends. We do have a couple of retired teachers and such that work during the day still. But we provide all the students transportation and guidance throughout their work experience. So this has really been exciting for the students because it's just kind of all gone very quickly. Actually, when Mrs. Plowman reached out to us through Bridget, we had to think outside the box on how to do some things, and that's what's really great about the district because we're able to do that.
And all these services that we're talking about today are zero cost to the district. Cost the district, not for this. It's also much better.
And another benefit of the students getting involved in paid work experience is we give them that real work experience with the area businesses. We come from the world of special education, also looking at what needs they may need to have strengthened as they transition into post-secondary and the workforce and things like that. We're really trying to help the workforce initiatives around our local counties also to get kids involved in working. And so when students get an opportunity to do my instructional program, then move into this paid work experience program, we're hoping that their job readiness skills are a little more formulated. So they understand, how to communicate with a supervisor or work as a team with another coworker.
Right? And they're real jobs. I mean, these are jobs we've had fire students not showing up to work on their phones all the time. We're preparing them for real world work. I worked in industry for 15 years, so I understand what employers are looking for. Not being on the phone, being on the work on time, dressing appropriately, taking a shower. All those things are skills that we take for granted, but not everybody has. And that's what we try to instill in this program.
When I took your boys to some of the area businesses and they got to meet, like Brad Heater, he came down and talked to my first group of boys. A lot of times I don't know what's going to take place because I don't know what kind of questions the students would have. But just meeting the people that you see every day in passing and then seeing what extraordinary things go on. We went toward Hickman lumber down at the sawmill. We went into the kilns. And we walk away from these places sometimes and employers, they contact us. Hey, I heard the kids you brought down. Anybody want a job? So it's also finding avenues for work in our local community where they don't realize that just giving them exposure.
Sure. So what we do with ODR, work with students and adults, but again, primarily for you folks, those students at that transition age, which is 14 and through graduation. And the 14 to 16-year-old does a lot of those presentations in their group settings and their classrooms. And then they reach 16, they're of the work age. So that's when we try to give them as many opportunities to learn about themselves, those things that they're good at or might be interested in, so that by the time they graduate, they have some idea, a little bit of a focus. I don't know that anyone knows what I want to do when I grow up, but that's okay. They at least know what they like and what they don't like. That's a key factor for a lot of my students that I work with. I really thought I would like to do that, but oh my gosh, you know how dirty that is? You know how loud that is? Do you know how clean you have to be to work in a hospital setting so that information is grateful. It's great for them, and we're grateful then to be able to transition those students from something like a paid work experience of 90 hours to the My Work, which is 6 to 8 week programming over the summer. So those kids work 25, for the most part, between 20 to 25 hours a week in these programs that were started basically in Allegheny County in 2016. That was the birth of the project, and it was so popular in Allegheny County that we caught the ideas in my Erie district. We thought we could probably do that here. And so we worked in the Erie district to build the program, but honestly, Clarendon County was one of the first areas to have this program. And so we started small. I think our first year we might have had 4 sites across the county, and now it's up to almost 9. So it's serving a lot of students, more than the 50 that we started with. So it's grown tremendously across the state. So there's some information about the state now. Again, lots of students participating. It's grown every year, and I think that's because we're seeing the value in what we do as those folks working with those students, and then the municipalities are seeing the value they provide by giving those students the opportunity to practice those skills in a real world setting where their responsibility to work on time, make sure that I'm dressed and ready when I walk in the door, we get started. And there are those consequences for those actions. If we have to pull someone from a site because they weren't paying attention or following the rules, then we do that.
All right. So locations, when we started this business, we started small. And we started small because we want to make sure that the services that we provide are quality services. But as we're starting to grow, we're getting more quality job coaches, we're learning more, and we're trying to grow our business. It's including more districts, including yours. Okay, folks that worked with us last year, Reimersburg, that was their 3rd summer. Union, One of your students was at Union last year. That's their second year. This will be their third summer with them. CBS in Clarion, Old City, and Titusville. CBS runs a summer program, and we provide coaches and students for that. Not only provide the students, but we run that particular program. That will be our third year with them as well. Knoxboro, we ran last summer for the first time. We kind of changed that now, which I'll talk about in a second. Navarre Horse Farm in Franklin, we provide students there. And as you see there, Navarre was nice enough to allow the students to participate in one of the horse camps because they work in cut grass there for summer.
Can I say something about?
Absolutely.
So the interesting thing about the workers that participated at this site, the young lady in the yellow t-shirt was an outdoorsy, landscaping. She loved being outdoors, did a lot of stuff already. The other two girls, not so much. They loved that summer. They were outside doing lots of painting, pressure washing, trimming, mowing, things like that, and they loved it. And the one young lady said, I just never knew I'd like to be outside this fall. So you just never know when students don't have exposure to stuff, what their capabilities are, what they really like to do. So
Those
that
two on the right never touched the lawn.
Yeah.
In their apartment, never touched the lawn.
couch potato
Absolutely.
chips. Yeah, they loved it. They loved it.
Also, Cranberry Township, worked there. Our students, when they work with us, they get to choose whether they can have the picture taken or not. And the person at Cranberry didn't want us to get the picture taken, that's why I don't have the pictures last night. James Township, we ran for the first time with the Marionville last summer. Clarion Free Library, we get students there. That's going to expand this summer as well. So our goal is to continue to grow. New places that we have this year is the Old City Municipal, the Venango County Library System, the Clarion County Library System, the Clarion County Agency of Aging, YMCA Camp Coffin, which we kind of put the Knoxboro into. Kids from there are going to Camp Coffin this year. We have 6 students there. And the McApool, which is in Marionville. And we hope to add AC Valley School District to this list. And that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight. We have some students who want to work. We're looking to make this one of our sites. For this year, for next year, we'd like to have this site and then expand out into the community here. I'm sure there's a nonprofit or something we don't know about that used to help there in summertime. Like I said, we're expanding, but we're expanding slow because we don't want to provide service that's subpar. We want to make sure that we're solid. We want to make sure the students have a good experience with us. Okay, so the goal of my work is to demonstrate student independence. We basically kind of went over this already. Melody did. Instilling student confidence. We also want our students to see what's going on locally within our communities. So we had students last year in Knoxville clean up the local park. Okay, the thought is now when the students are hanging out after school and they go to that park, well, I helped clean this place up. Maybe I shouldn't trash it. They kind of have some connection within the community. Okay, it also generates respect and pride within the community. Uh-oh. This always happens every time we do one of these, that's okay. It's all good. I think the next slide is just questions. Does anybody have any questions for us? I didn't realize it's really fast. Yes, sir.
How do you find your students? They find you?
I generally do that recruiting, if I can use that word, but when I'm meeting with those students, that's part of what I'm doing, is a lot one-on-one with them and giving them the chance to voice for themselves as much as they can, what they might like to try, and then I kind of tweak that and say, here's your opportunities, what do you think you might like? And oftentimes those students interview for those slots, it's not just a given that they get in. Yeah.
Oh, let me phrase some things for questions a second. So students, workers must be 16 to 21 and have a disability. Okay, wages. OVR pays students' wages for the summer of 2024. Students will get paid $12 per hour. Okay, students get a $200 stipend. We buy them shoes, we buy them pants, we buy them gloves, safety glasses, anything that they need. Okay. The student workers are working for Wolf's Youth Employability Solutions. They're on our liability insurance, they're on our workman's comp. I'll provide you with, what's that thing called?
Certificate of liability.
Certificate of liability is $1 million. We provide that for all the locations where students work. And basically, our employees, you guys are just giving them a place to go. Your maintenance folk will tell them what to do, and our job coaches will make sure that those things happen. Gotta have myself. Okay, all transportation is provided for this experience. We pick the students up and take the students home at the end of the day. So there's never an excuse where I couldn't get a ride to work. There's always a ride available. It is paid weekly, either by paper check or direct deposit. Okay, the hours is 2 potential tiers. For this one, we're proposing tier 2, which would be 25 to 35 a week. We're looking at like around 25 hours or so. Usually Monday through Thursday is what we run, because we would like for the students to feel at least have summer. So we're trying to take their summer away from them. Usually the week before July, we're off. Okay, program runs a maximum of 8 weeks. For supervision, a job trainer is provided by us for the entire work experience. So the kids aren't just dumped on front and say, here you go, guys, take care of them. There's a job coach that will be with the kids. Not to say we can't spread them out along campus, but that job coach will be responsible for those students at all times. And the students that are higher performing or are more independent, a lot of times they'll go with somebody else and they'll do their thing, but our job coach is always available by phone if there's any issues whatsoever. Okay, so I know a lot of good places worry about that. We just gotta don't hear that's not what this program is about. Okay, all of our trainers have clearances. As Kirsten mentioned, a lot of our trainers are teachers that want summer money or job coaches, not job coaches, paraprofessionals that want summer money. We have some retired folks that work with us as well.
And the only way we bring trainers and coaches on board is through personal referral. We don't advertise for coaches. That way we know we have people coming from our community that have a vested interest in working with students. And we're very careful about who we bring in and how we introduce everybody, and that's kind of what makes us different.
And we're a family-run business, it calls 24/7. It's like we care about what goes on. We're not a 7 to 3, we're not a 9 to 5. I tell my parents, if you need to call me anytime. And that would be the same with the districts or anybody. If you have a question, call us. I mean, if you need to listen, call us. If there's an issue, call us. We're going to take care of it. Because our name's on the building. Our name's on this business, and we care about what happens.
When I asked the AC Valley boys, what are you gonna do with the paycheck? What are you gonna do with the money that you earned? I got so many different answers. And one of the boys today that I took to a job interview, he said, I put it in my account, I'm gonna use it for my graduation party. I was like, okay, that sounds good. I said, what are you gonna do with your next paychecks that you're gonna be, making? He said, I don't know yet. So when we are able to partner with nonprofits, municipalities, school districts, OBR to provide these opportunities, I always say, these kids are our neighbors. They're gonna be taking care of us. I'm gonna call them to fix my porch. These are the kids that are gonna be working right alongside me as I exist in this community long term. So again, it has been an absolute pleasure working with Bill and Peggy and everybody up in that high school office has been so welcoming, and your students here are amazing. I think I said in the email this week, out of probably about 100 students that I've done this foundations and experience program with, the AC Valley students have topped out the expectation that I've had in terms of being ready to be engageable, to learn, and be presentable around the community. It has been like, I come home and I'm just so super jazzed to be able to work with them. So thank you.
Would the students that would work here would be our students, or would they be from other areas?
Be your students.
Yes, I
for
would.
this year.
We have quite a number of kids that want to do my work this summer, so.
Yes, during our program, we do some imports depending on, but there's plenty of students here who want work, so it won't be that here now. So let's say next year, there's only like 2 students that want to work here, looking at somebody that's not far from here, a Sligo area who wanted to work, we might bring them down. But for the most part, we try to keep them as local as possible, but sometimes, things fill up or things happen where we have to move students around.
If I can add just one piece also that makes me feel great about this partnership, it's the fact that, any of these students, if they get a job anywhere, the employers don't have the time to pull them aside and work with them and say, hey, you need to buck up on this, or you need to maybe, hey, take a shower and wear clean clothes today, something as simple as that. And I know that James and his crew have a lot of jobs that they don't get to each year that would be great for these kids. And to have that coach there to be able to pull them aside and work with them.
Yeah.
It helps not only our students individually, but it helps our community because they make, these kids are better when they graduate and ready for a job. So I think it's a great partnership, and I hope that, we are willing to take a look at that.
When you drive down through Main Street, Reimersburg, and you see everything yellow, the lines, the hydrants, those were two union students from last summer. Both those boys, another boy that graduated actually got his after graduation job from a paid work experience. So what this also does for your special education demographic, for students that have 504 plans, have a disability, it helps your school district data also because it maintains outcomes after graduation, but it also provides a lot of support within the community. So we're just very proud to be able to offer this.
Yeah, we've had quite a few students that have continued on.
Yeah.
We do a lot of co-op work with Benango, we're working on those down here in Fire as well. Where kids will start, and they have a job coach there for those first 90 hours to get them going, get them trained properly. Where the employer might not have the time to dedicate somebody to that student for that long. But by the time we're finished with them, then they're ready to be employed and they get hired on.
Auto shops, auto body, like Minix, Tony Recovery in Oil City. We had two boys, one boy was a co-op student through Benango, and they first kept him on as a full-time employee. And really it's to the benefit of OBR that we appreciate the partnership with OBR because they're making this happen for kids.
It's lessened the downtime, the length of time that a student's sitting around thinking, I don't know what to do, where do I put my applications in, how do I get there, how does all that work? So we try to minimize that as much as we can by giving them the exposure ahead of time. Yeah.
And when do you need to know whether we can partner with you? Would that be before the end of the school year?
Tomorrow.
Probably
Only the earlier we can get things started, the easier it is for us to be ready to go. The program generally likes to kick off mid-June. And we just want to make sure that our students have what they need. So we get whatever clothing they need ahead of time. So it would be great if they didn't wait too long.
Our students have to make sure they have a social security card, an ID, make sure they have all those things.
We can
If they
take
don't
care
have
of
those
all
things,
that,
sometimes that takes a little bit of time.
Get them
If it's
there.
at the last minute, some student may have to wait a few weeks before they can get started. We can't put them on payroll unless we have those.
We didn't have a motion to approve the program this evening. We could entertain the discussion, or we could wait till May to put it down in formal motion. But probably May 20th is pretty late for you from what I hear. Very late. Okay.
Earlier is better, you're not going to go
I
pressure
just
on
worry
anybody.
about that identification,
Sure.
that birth certificate sometimes.
We can look at it like new business.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We
Sounds like a
appreciate
great
your
program.
presentation and
Thanks for having us,
everything
really
you're doing.
appreciate it.
Thank
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. My number's on the pamphlet that we passed out. Call anytime if you have any questions. We're also on Facebook. If you want to see what we're doing. Yep.
Your kids are amazing, they are, they really have been so polite and really super kids.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tiger, you using this too?
You took up.
So our next presenter is Megan Vashon, and she's gonna talk about the Falcons Nest Cafe, future grants, and the luncheon team.
Megan's been very busy today. She taught all day long. She had practice after school. She ran home. She got changed.
I didn't run home.
Oh, okay. She ran to her classroom. And then here she is. So we do thank you. Thank you for your time today.
I don't think I'm gonna stay for the whole board meeting.
That's fine, but you don't have to.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Megan Bashline. I'm the
high school autism life skills teacher. Thank you all for having me and for hearing about my program again. So these are my objectives for today's presentation. I want to update you on how things are going. I think I presented almost 2 years ago when I first started. So I want to just update you on how's it going and what's new. I want to talk about something I call the Falcon's Nest, some new ideas that I have, some grants, and then also I want my student teacher to tell you about something. Okay, so how are things going? So when I presented to you at the beginning, when I started the classroom, about a month in, I said, here's what I want to do, and we're still doing everything. We do all the laundry and dishes for the Family Consumer Science room. We clean the cafeteria tables. We do the laundry and stock utensils for the cafeteria. We recycle all the cardboard. We sort the mail in the office. We sort the magazines in the library. We do a lot of the outside work also. We break the courtyard leaves. After they trim the bushes, we clean up all the debris. We are currently getting ready to plant some lettuce out here from Dr. Jordan in the garden. But we really do anything we can to help. So like graduation coming, so we will be in charge of getting the gowns ready, putting them in alphabetical order, putting labels on them, making sure there's no wrinkles in them. We help a lot in the Family Consumer Science room just to give us McKinley an extra hand. And I purposely wanted to go after Kristen and Melody because you're gonna understand why in a minute. But these are all jobs that I've created for my students within the school. Because for them, so we're talking about life skills students and students with autism, they have high needs and they need support from a one-on-one or a teacher. And so we really need to try to provide that opportunity within the school. So I literally look everywhere and say, do you need help? We can do that. Let me do that. Let's sort that. Let's fold that. And so everything is going well. Okay, so what I started this year, I had a goal of creating some type of cafe. So one of the things, this isn't the cafe, but this is called the Falcon's Nest. It's in the teacher's lounge. It's a snack area for the teachers. And so my students go in every day to check the inventory, just to count things, to see what we have, see what we're low on, report back to me, tell me what I need to get. They also count the money at the end of the week. So we have a lot of lessons on counting the inventory, what profit that we make. So this low inventory and fully stocked, and it seems to be going really, really well as I have to restock it every week. So I think the teachers appreciate it as it's not something that they've had before. We also have pop and water in the fridge. Another part of the Falcon Nest is the Falcon Nest Cafe. Originally, I wanted to do it every week, because I just thought we could do it every week. We do it once a month, and that's plenty. It was a lot of work. And so this is actually the paper that the students put on a clipboard. They take it around with an aide, and we talk about how to greet them, knock on the door, greet a teacher, take an order, and mark down what they want. And then throughout the week, we create labels. I use my computer to create some labels. We put the labels on the cup and get the items ready for the cafe on Friday. And so these are some things that we offer. Along with the hot beverage, or cold beverage, we offered 2 complimentary snacks to the people that order, but pretty much I just give it to everybody. Anyone who wants it, I will give it to you as complimentary because my students just need that to learn those social skills and communication, and the staff needs a little pick me up once a month, and they look forward to us coming. So these are just, we try to do some type of breakfast cake or bar. Fresh fruit is a huge hit, so these were our rainbow kebabs. Those are pumpkin gobs, that's Dr. Main's eating one. And we did shamrock shakes for St. Patrick's Day. So again, along with us making their hot beverage or whatever their cold item is, we take a cart around the school and we deliver them. So down in the right corner, you can kind of see our carts are ready, our kids are ready. This is us, some type of assembly line to get our shish kebabs ready for St. Patrick's Day. These are more pictures of all the kids doing some type of cooking to make the fruit salad for our Cafe Friday. So again, I just do that once a month for now. Because again, it is a lot. It takes us all week to prepare, especially the food items. So we talk about, we just break down the recipe. We talk about measuring. We talk about what ingredients we need, and things like that. In the top right corner, in the blue square, you'll see, that's us in the independent living lab at the IU. One thing that I'm doing right now is taking the kids every week, 3 boys every week to the independent living lab. 2 of them go to the PACE lab to work on job skills, and these 3 boys have finished the PACE lab, so myself and my aides, we work in the independent living lab, and on this day, we learned how to set the table, prepare some treats for the aides that work at the PACE lab, and they were just tickled that we invited them over to share with them. Okay, so, new ideas. First of all, why do I have new ideas? Because I can. Because I'm always thinking of ways to improve my program. And what Kristen and Melody had said, it's really about getting students in the learning how to improve their job skills. For my students, it's about improving their job skills, but also their independent skills and independent living, and just basic skills that you don't have to rely on someone. However, it's a little bit more difficult for my students because of their high needs. So at this point, I don't think they mentioned, but their program is mostly for juniors and seniors, and I do have a couple juniors and seniors, but you can also stay now till your 22nd birthday. So I have a few in that category that will be staying a while, and we really need to hone in on those independent living skills and work skills. And also a part of their IEP, once the student hits 14, a big part of their IEP is their transition goals. And when they're junior and senior, that's pretty much my focus, is what are you gonna do when you're done with school? Where are you gonna live? Are you going on to secondary education? Usually the answer is no, no, no. So working on those skills is really my motivation. So one of my ideas, I was listening to the board meeting in March, and I heard Mrs. Redding talk about interest in a second chance breakfast. And I not immediately, but I thought, ooh, we can help with that. So I went to her and I said, hey, I bet you're gonna be short-staffed. I bet you're gonna need help with this. So it is something that, you approve, and that is for her to offer a second chance breakfast between periods 2 and 3. I would love for my students to be able to help her. Now, we could not run the POS system. It's not a paid position, but could we help her fill her carts? Yes. Could we help get the cart to wherever she needs it to go? Yes, we could do that. So we could be a part of that. Second, this is the big one, is I would like to offer some type of snack table, periods 8 and 10. If her second chance breakfast goes through, I would offer it in the afternoon for students. So similar to my teacher snack table, I want to offer something to the students that I would sell them water, Gatorade, crackers, granola bars, fresh fruits, anywhere from 50 cents to $2. And I'm really thinking we could hit some of the athletes that could get a snack for the afternoon that are going to Union or whatever, if they forgot to pack something, they could buy it from us. And for my students, that would be a little business that they could run. This is actually not a new idea. Many local schools have a cafe that is run by their life skills classroom. It's usually in their library. I know there's the Rock Shop at Slip Rock. There's the Eagle or the Lions Den at CL. Knox, Keystone has it. So it is something that is not new in the area. It's an idea that's out there. But again, I want to promote healthy eating, so I'm not going to serve candy bars and pop. It's going to be as healthy as we can. So that is something I would like to do next year. Are there any questions on that before I move on? This is kind of a switch of topics. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was like what's called a unified club. A unified club, and I'll just read you the definition, is a club for students with and without intellectual disabilities that come together for sports, games, community service, school events, and most of all, to have fun. These club sports help to promote inclusive and accepting school environments. And so I know Dr. McDivitt had mentioned that we would maybe like to have bocce ball. I hope that we can get it. That is the unified sport that we would like to propose. And that is, that is terrible to see. That is supported by the Pennsylvania Bureau of Special Education, also PIAA. I apologize for that. That's not, can't see it very well. Myself, Dr. Jordan, Mr. Sherman, Dr. Maines. Did I say Dr. Sherman? Mr. Sherman. We had a meeting and we met with Mike Bavino from Special Olympics, and he gave us all the information that we would need to have a unified sports team. And it's a winter sport. It's 6 to 8 players in grades 9 through 12, but they can be up to the age of 21. Minimum of 3 students have to have an IEP diagnosis, so intellectually disabled. All the other teammates can be Reg Ed or other special ed students. So the Special Olympics provide all the equipment, the training, the uniforms for 2 years, and within the 3rd year, they're asking for the school district to kind of take over some of the costs. However, from what I gathered, and I think Dr. Jordan can tell you, it doesn't seem like it's going to cost a lot to run the program, but that's in the 3rd year. And Special Olympics is even willing to help out if we're still in need. There would be up to a total of 6 matches, only 1 home match we would have. The rest we would travel to. And just like the IAA, there are playoffs, there are districts, and there are state level championships, which is what you saw here. Peters Township won the state championship for bocce ball. Along with unified sports, when we went to the meeting, we also learned that we need to have some type of unified club within the school. And that is a club that has both special ed and reg ed students. And the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania would also help train the teachers, reg ed and special ed teachers, and help us with activities to just promote inclusiveness within the school. And so that is something that we're looking for as well. One thing I did learn, because I said, because I want to be a basketball coach, just putting that out there. If the person that's the basketball coach, they do not want that person to be the club leader. That's because we really want to promote and create an environment where everybody is involved, not just, oh, that's what Mrs. Bachelor does with her kids. It's getting more people on board, which is what I have at the bottom. We need a team of teachers, students, and staff promoting the unified sports clubs within the building. And 2 grants that I want to talk about that I've been made aware of. I've never applied for a grant. Everyone tells me I need to apply for this, so I'm going to try. It's the TANF grant. It's called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. But schools can apply if they're looking for ways to provide career exploration or work readiness for students aged 12 to 21. AC Valley has received this grant, I believe, for, I think 13 years, up until 2 years ago. I'm not sure what happened. However, they did change some regulations where no upfront funding will be given, that everything will be reimbursed afterwards. And so this is a good time for me to mention, well, why don't I just work with Kristen and Melody? So I have met with Kristen, I have met with Melody, and I said, what do I do for my kids? I need them to, build these work skills. And there's only so much you could do right in the classroom. And unfortunately, the answer is provided within our school, because my students need so much support. Whereas her program, if they get a job at Hickman Lumber, that job coach can go away and they can stay at Hickman Lumber and live and hopefully work there. Whereas my students, if we were to go somewhere to work, they need an aide with them, and we'll probably always need someone with them. And so it just makes sense, because I need to be there, a teacher needs to be there to support them, or an aide needs to be there, that we create these opportunities within the school. That's why we have all of those things that I listed at the beginning, we still do. That's why I want to create the student cafe, continue the teacher cafe, to give them as much work experience as they can within our school district, or locally. So, like I take the kids to the IU. I plan on having a little partnership with the pizza shop. I'm also looking into maybe allowing students maybe to go in the hotel. We make the bed at the independent living lab. I'd like to see them try to make the beds at the hotel. Haven't talked to anyone at the hotel yet. Maybe going to the Allegheny room. But again, my students would not be able to hold a position that they have open. We would just go there to get that practice in a real life setting, and they would have to go with me or an aide. And so a TANF grant would help me fund programs like that. I can create wages for my students and pay them through the TANF grant. I can, transportation costs or supplies that I need. That's what I would need. I would utilize this grant for. It's due May 2nd, so I'm kind of in panic mode, but we'll see. And then the last thing I want to talk about is an initiative that is from the Department of Education. It's called APR, Attract, Prepare, and Retain. This is a grant for students going in the special ed field. As you know, there's a teacher shortage nationwide, and this actually starts with juniors and seniors in high school who may be interested in going into the education field. That could be a counselor, even a paraprofessional, a special ed teacher, a school psychologist, along with maybe having them work in a unified club that they go into that as a career, as a major in college, and the grant, they can get money towards their college education because that's what they're interested in through Attract, Prepare, Retain. The grant has not been released. They're still waiting on that, but I checked it today, it is still not open. So again, with the unified club and something like this, it's just making students aware of special needs students, how to work with them, and maybe pique some interest in maybe going into that field in the future. And finally, I would like to introduce you to my student teacher, Kyla Drum, and she is going to talk to you about her experience in high school, because what happened in high school is why she's a special ed teacher today, which is very similar to what APR is about.
Hi, I don't think I need this. I'm just gonna put my teacher voice on. Can you all hear me? Okay. There's so much less chatting. Okay, so yeah, I am a living, breathing example that APR works. I didn't get a grant, I didn't get scholarships because I took these classes and was in these clubs. I'm here because I want to be, but there's other people that have passions out there, and if we can give them a little bit of a incentive, I think it will really help a lot, because there is an incredible teacher shortage. A little bit about me. I am not from here. I'm from Harrisburg. I graduated in 2020 from East Pennsboro High School, Nola. I don't know if anybody knows about that. But yeah, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my experience in high school, and hopefully just open your eyes to what can happen with APR and some of the amazing things that Ms. Bashine has planned. And I really hate to read word for word, but I don't want to take a ton of your time, so I did prepare something. Bear with me. My name is Kyla Drum. I'm Mrs. Bashine's student teacher, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about the importance of investing in our future special educators. I will be graduating in May, and I am so excited to begin my professional career as a teacher. Actually, just had my first interview before this. My passion has been alive and well since high school, though. I'm from a small town outside of Harrisburg call me Nola. I graduated from East Pennsylvania High School in 2020. My high school was many things, but something that I always appreciated and noticed was the camaraderie between general education teachers, fine and practical art teachers, and yes, even the special education teachers. During my sophomore year of high school, I took a class called Service Learning was offered. I decided to take it because what could go wrong? In this class, we learned about the importance of community, and then we practiced what we learned. Each class period, we would be split into 3 groups. One group would go to the life skills room, one would go to the autism support room, and one group would stay back and either plan our next activity, learn about different ways to help our community, or we would go around and help any staff member or teacher in the building that needed it. While we were in the special education classrooms, we did everything from participating in activities to taking over very small lessons, which I always loved because I've wanted to be a teacher since forever. And we would also just simply hang out with our peers and give them that normal high school feeling of playing cards with your friends or drawing or running around outside. We weren't in the groups, and when we weren't in the groups that went to these special education classrooms, we typically ended up helping other teachers with whatever they needed. During musical season, I was very involved in the musical, so when I wasn't doing my assigned job, in this class, we were usually printing programs, collecting forms, putting things in order, anything that we could help make anybody's life a little bit easier in the school. My favorite thing that I remember was helping with bulletin boards, which is awesome. And it was really nice to see how taking my 45-minute class period to do something that I enjoyed, where that could help someone, was a grade for my class. And a lot of students ended up taking it and loving it. There was also 2 levels of this class, which I chose both. During my time in high school, I also was part of helping kickstart a program called Empower Percussion. I was very involved in the music program, multiple instruments, choir, all that kind of stuff. So Empower Percussion is something that I'm very proud to have been a part of. With the help of our band director, so student volunteers, we taught students in the life skills and autism support classrooms some fun and basic rhythm. Then we got to rehearse them to a song, usually a popular pop song, or we had a ton of kids that were in love with Disney. So I listened to a lot of Disney during this time. And then they practiced for usually about a semester, 9-week period, and then they got to perform at our spring band and choir concert. And like, I'm an emotional person, but when I tell you, I was in tears watching like these kids that I developed friendships with and kind of helped mentor, perform, and seeing their smiles. It was just amazing. They were so proud, and it was just awesome. These students were given an opportunity that they typically wouldn't have had access to, because reading music is like learning another language. So being able to take this time to help my peers with different disabilities, both intellectual and like functional and everything, that was huge to me. Throughout all of these activities and classes, I found my passion for special education. I also found friends and people I normally wouldn't have got to spend a whole lot of time with otherwise, as students from all grades and backgrounds took the class. We took classes with kids I didn't even know existed, and then we put names in this. I also got to see how appreciative the staff was for some extra help. There was never any, that's not my job, or those aren't my kids. Our general education teacher welcomed special ed students with open arms, and whenever they could, they opened their classroom to give students a modified class time to learn what their peers were learning, which once again sparked my passion as I saw how rewarding and simple it was to give these opportunities. Again, like since we were doing this busy work that the teachers had to take extra time to do, like hang things up, we didn't bring paper or anything like that, but like the stuff that needs done but nobody wants to do it, we did that, and then our teachers were able to take some time and give a simplified geometry lesson or whatever it may be to my peers with disabilities. Mrs. Bashline has some amazing ideas for her classroom and this school. I'm so lucky and so proud to have a mentor who's so passionate about the field, and the school is lucky to have such a kind woman in charge of the life skills classroom. I'm a first-hand example of what these programs can create. There is a teacher shortage across America, and getting students excited about the field in high school has many benefits that will follow after it. Even if a program similar to the one that I participated in doesn't create any teachers, it will still be investing in a stronger school community as both students and teachers are able to work together for something larger than themselves. And does anybody have any questions about the stuff I talked about? No, I know I rambled. I tend to do that.
I did not tell her to say those things. Thank you. And so, and she's not joking, she interviewed with Harrisburg School District.
Yeah,
At
I like
3:30.
11 positions. She one district.
First, they have 11 positions open, I said, you're gonna get all that, you're gonna get to take the time. So that is my vision for AC Valley High School. I really would like to see more of a unified effort, and this kicked off by bocce ball and maybe a unified club where we're just working together as a unified, student body with the special ed and the reg ed students. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does anybody mind if I give a little bit of feedback?
Yeah.
The first year that grant was out, which I think was 2 years ago, I was
APR or TNM?
the second one. At that one. I was at the special ed conference in PDE when that came out, and I actually wrote one of those for Grove City as a volunteer, and we got the maximum amount, which was $25,000 that year. So if you'd like any help with that, I'm happy to come down after my work hours and help you with that grant or show you the one that I wrote.
Great, thank you.
We had Best Buddies, Special Olympics, Unified Bocce, and a partnership with SRU and the local YMCA.
Excellent.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
I know several years ago when we brought this classroom down, it was
Scary.
scary, yes, but you jump in and you do a great job. I don't think you could have a better person in that role.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Carrie lost her connection, she's trying to reconnect.
Okay. I will let a super tech man.
Aaron's gonna get steps in tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so while Aaron's getting us ready, we'll move on to, are there any board concerns this evening? Not seeing any, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. I do need to let you know that under the teacher nurse list, we are adding Malia Schreck, who would like to sub the remainder of this year in early childhood and special education. So her name will be included on this list. Are there any items that are in the consent agenda that you would like to be pulled out and voted on separately? Okay, any discussion? I do see that G may change, right? They're looking for other options in boys basketball boosters.
Yes, but they can't do any other days available. Sundays, one day out of the week that's open. Keep in mind that we do have a Sunday matinee for our school musical. We could possibly staff it if you were considering hosting that on a Sunday event. Tammy's been working diligently with the boosters.
When I heard today, they had canceled this because they didn't have enough interest.
So it may not be happening. Okay, so in that case, do we need to pull it from the consent agenda, or are we just gonna go ahead and approve it, and then if they cancel, they'll let us know?
Yeah, let's approve it. And then-
They did cancel, sorry guys, they did cancel that. They sent out word to the parents that it was canceled, at some point in the last 24 hours, so, and they did cancel with my parents as well. So I think that is a null moot point.
And wasn't that the same date that the girls softball had asked to use the gym?
They were hoping to do it, but they chose a different date and went in a different direction as well.
Okay, so we're gonna remove item G from the consent agenda. Is this no longer necessary?
Yep.
Is there anything else on the consent agenda you would like to pull off? Not seeing any, do I have a motion to approve it as stands?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to finance and purchase. Patty, would you lead us through that section?
So to approve an authorization to pay bills March, April. So moved.
We can lump them, Patty.
Okay, then I'll,
We usually lump A through G together.
that's what I was looking for, is cafeteria report. So, I'd like to lump A through G together as, for your approval, so moved. Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion on any of those items that are paying the bills? Not hearing any. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Hi, everybody. This last month, we served 11,481 meals, averaging out to about 604 meals a day. I did hopefully submit the final National School Lunch Program application this year. Hopefully, no more cancellations, snow days, or changes in the number of days per month. It was approved and our reimbursement was accepted and approved as well. You'll see that we do have a memo from March 20th, 2024 that stated, or addressed to Dr. McDivitt, that our administrative review is finally closed. It started in July, and March 20th, it was done with no, there was one corrective action. It was completed, taken care of, and that was it. So no fiscal action, no holdbacks, no anything like that. So everything went really, really well there. I wanted to let you know that I talked about the 2 grants that I received this year. One was the Supply Chain Assistance Fund in the amount of $18,893.83, and I have expended that. That was used strictly for minimally processed fruits and vegetables or milk. I used it strictly for milk and fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. So that is expended. I also received an additional allocation for fresh fruit and vegetables alone from USDA. And that was $17,000. And the balance at this time is $51,0845. And I do believe with the last 4 weeks remaining that money will be completely expended by the end of the school year. We were notified that the district was eligible to apply for the CEP program so that everybody can have free lunch. Our percentage was up to 42%. And I did attach the CEP calculator. It's in a packet and it's got a colored sheet, and you can read down through and see what the calculations are. But as of right now, with our numbers, with the low percentage that we have just over the eligible students that we can claim, even with a 3% increase in participation, we would still have to get a deficit monthly of $4,528.48 that the district would be responsible for paying per month if all of our students ate free lunch. Now, that being said, all students will be free for breakfast next year. And I'm still waiting to hear this year, all of our free students, of course, were free for lunch, but our reduced students, about 2 months into school, USDA came out and said the free students have, or the reduced price students have also been receiving free lunches this year. So the only students that we have paying anything for lunch right now are our paid students. I keep hoping every year that maybe they'll do something to help out those kids, but like I said, our percentage of directly certified students has gone up. If I see parents that are struggling, I've been sending forms in the mail, and letting them know that, hey, if you can go in and apply for these state benefits that I'm pretty certain you qualify for, that will help us out as a district too. So I've seen not the biggest jump that I was hoping to get us up over 50%, but every year we just get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. But that's there for you to look at and review. If you have any questions, you can call me on the workday or drop me an email. The last thing I'd really like to just talk about was I had spoken with Mrs. Bashline, and she showed it to you in her slides, and she had come to me and said about maybe having the snack cart in between lunch and breakfast, and I kind of went, don't know how I feel about that. Really looking at trying to do a second breakfast, and she said that would be great. We have a cart already in the cafeteria that was purchased years ago by Nutrition Inc. So I have the cart. I talked to our email Aaron Bashline, and he dug around, and we found a pin pad that is still here that was used for a la carte that we haven't had for years. So as far as equipment, we don't need anything. All our only hiccup at this point was staffing. But if her kids can come in the morning, load that cart, stock it, take it up to whatever central location, and we'll talk about specifics later, but just idea-wise, they can get the cart there. They can get the food to the kids. and I only have to send up my staff person for 10, 15 minutes at the most, which is, we can do this, and she can come back down and go to work. The kids will bring the car back down, unload it, clean it, and get it ready for the next day. So they're getting that work experience and that learning that Mrs. Bashline really, really wants for them, while helping us out in the same manner. So like I said, that's something that she and I just happened to come together with within the last couple of weeks. And I know we'll have some planning to do, but it's really something that I would like to look forward to and put in for all the kids and the benefit of the entire high school. That's all I have.
Consideration to approve service agreement between Newburgh and County and ACV Valley School District to coordinate the readiness and awareness activities for district students in grades 7 through 12 for a period of 2 years beginning August 15, 2024, ending on June 30th, as attached. And then waive the Newburgh County will pay 1.5 years, and ACV Valley will be required to pay $2,500 on November 1st, 2025. So,
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve increasing K-12 student lunches 10 cents. The maximum allowed by USDA per year beginning 2024 school year. Paid lunch would be $2.75 for lunch. All students will eat breakfast for free and so.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Question on this one. Doesn't want to table.
I do have some information to present, Patty. We may need to table this because you won't have a complete picture. We do need a little bit of an idea as far as what direction we go, so that in May we could have a completed budget in front of you.
Okay.
So you can read it, and then I got some information to
We
present.
have a motion and second to discuss.
Yes.
Okay. So consideration to approve increase in taxes to be determined for the 2024-25 school year. So.
Okay, moved and seconded, discussion. I'm going to move again. Let me know those, please. You have a presentation, right?
I do. Okay, you can see from the presentation that we had this evening that we really focus in on our mission statement. And if we started out and talked about the budget, there's a lot of really difficult decisions that need to be made this time of year for the next school year. As you can see, this is what we're doing right now. We have a mission and a vision statement. Dr. Jordan, Mr. Sherman uses this on a daily basis with our students. And it's exactly what we do here at ACV Valley. It's a little bit small, and keep in mind the mission is what we're doing every day. The vision is what we're aiming to achieve. And as you can see from the elementary all the way up in the high school, we're meeting and exceeding a lot of these objectives that we had worked on. Just keep in mind that the comprehensive plan is due in 2025, so we'll be revisiting the mission and the vision as we move forward. But that vision statement right there has been created and here within the district for over 8 years. Budget timeline, as you can see, we've been working with the leadership team here at the district and at West 2 to get our budget pulled together. Today I'm presenting a preliminary overview, and then in May, the business office will present the budget, and then we'll put it on public display, and then by the end of June, we will submit it and be in compliance with the expectations. Just to provide you with an overview of staffing. As you can see, we have the West 2 program added into this, so we have another principal that we had added since in the past. In addition to that, we are making a recommendation to recreate the Director of Education position, which will float between the West 2 program and ACV Valley for curriculum development, and also our succession planning, as the current set of administrators are getting closer to retirement each and every day. And we do have 4 applicants. We're hoping to make a recommendation and May to have 1 business manager, 58 teachers, and then we have the 6 teachers up at the West 2 program. As that program continues to grow, we are looking at adding additional teachers up there, and that will be worked into the budget and also be maintained with our current billing rate. So we're in need of a special education teacher. We are making a recommendation to advertise for an ELA teacher as, again, we continue to expand. We don't have any substitutes, and we'll need additional support as we move forward. And then we also have the K through 12 technology teacher, and we do have 2 applicants for that position as well. And as we finish off the West 2 grant, we do have a lot of vocational programming items that we do plan to instill into the program. We have 9 aides. Just keep in mind that we brought back a lot of the students that were in outside districts, so we have a lot of support, and it does provide better education and also reduce costs. We can educate these students here, and as you can see from Megan, the life skills and artistic support classrooms flourish. In addition to that, we have 1 certified school nurse and 1 health technician in each building, 1 athletic director. We do not have an athletic trainer, but when we have the combined co-op with union, we do split the cost and have the additional support of their athletic trainer. 2 counselors. We do have a recommendation which was approved to add a career counselor 1 day a week for next 2 school years. 2 librarians. Technology. We have 2.17, you'll see that's tied into maintenance. So we have 2 full-time techs, and then one of our maintenance guys theoretically does a little bit of work with technology. So we have 1 maintenance director, 1.83 maintenance staff, 8 custodians, 3 part-time school psychologists, special ed director. You can see that I'm making a recommendation to go from 2.5 days to 3 days per week with Dr. Maines for next year. We contract through the intermediate unit. Social worker, same thing. We do have that written into the safety grant. And then we have 2 part-time study hall monitors, attendance officer, 5 full-time secretaries, 1 part-time, cafeteria supervisor, 1 full-time cafeteria staff, and 9 part-time. We have a school police officer, currently have a contract through the Emlenton Police. We did submit a safety grant in the anticipation of hiring on another officer if we do get the grant. And then, our coaches, we have them split between AC Valley and Union. And then here's a history. You can see, I always start right here with 06, 07 the year, but I started with AC Valley. And we're down, I think there's 344 kids over the last 17 years. But we did have an increase of 19 students last year. In addition to that, I also have information up here, 37 homeschool, 36 cyber. We have 6 in the IU classrooms. Not very long ago, we had over 30 out, so we've been able to bring back students and continue to reduce budgetary deficits with that. We have 6 in outside alternative ed. We have 6 in our own cyber program. And in April, we had 28 kids at West 2, and we're up over 30 right now. So combining everything, this budget, we're meeting the needs of 724 students. So some changes in the budget that we're working on right now. The PSERS, that's our retirement. Our matching contribution actually fell a little bit, but we're still paying 33.9%. Healthcare went up 9.22% from last year. IU6 billings up just a little bit, but we're paying $494,000. The Career Center, we take the overall operating budget divided by the number of kids from the 7 schools, and then we divide that into it, and our portion is $399,661. We also, the ARP ESSER program had paid for our computers, so as we are 1-to-1, we continue to rotate the old computers out and replace them with new ones. So that's the cost that we've absorbed back into the district, and it's inside this budget. Some of those outside placements, I had Andrew break this down. You can tell we're spending just over $1.2 million on some students in outside placement. But if you take a look at the outside cyber school, that's where the bulk of that overall expenditures come from. And the main reason why we've had to increase taxes here at AC Valley year in and year out. And that's the big discussion point that we're talking about today. So as you can see, these are hypothetical numbers as we work our way to the bottom, but every general ed student that goes in outside cyber, we're paying just over $19,000, and any student with a disability, and that could be any disability, we're paying just over $44,000 per student. We have 36 kids out, and these are hypotheticals here, but if half of these kids were identified in special ed, and I'm not sure how many there are because it does change back and forth, that could be a estimated cost of $807,000. The other half gen ed, $348,000. So it's theoretically, it could be over $1.1 million we pay for 36 kids in outside cyber. So the hope that we have here at AC Valley and across the state is that House Bill 1422 or the governor's proposal approved. If that were the case, and again, this is a hypothetical number, but if there were $8,000 per kid, that could have an estimated savings here at AC Valley of $868,096, which is substantial. And we could be adding programs and continuing to add staff if we have support. So contact your local legislators, contact the governor's office, and let's fight for House Bill 1422. Or the governor also had that rate inside his budget. So we have two possibilities going on in Harrisburg. Other changes that we have, I continue to harp on these outside cyber costs because we can increase our taxes to 7.1%. That's the highest index that I've seen. We do not have everything pulled together at this time for state and federal revenue, and that'll be presented in April. Keep in mind that the ARP-ESSER money that we've had because of COVID has gone away. That means that 2 teachers and 3 aides are coming back onto the AC Valley budget. Those are some rough numbers that we have received from ARP-ESSER in that. Inside this budget, we have 1 retiring teacher at the high school. We did not replace that, and we're projecting to add a teacher at the elementary school. And one question that I have for the school board tonight is, can we consider adding 2 teachers? And I know that's difficult from my perspective because the business office and we're paying the bills, but I have some data that I'm going to share with you shortly. And here's our numbers right here. So we don't have kindergarten numbers, but we are projecting 3 classrooms. First grade, we have 47, 3 classrooms. Second grade, we have 2 classrooms set up, and I'm wondering if we should add a 3rd. Fourth grade, and keep in mind these primary grades are really, really important for overall success of the students, and I'm going to present some information associated with that. And if we can get these kids to read and be proficient reading, and keep in mind that after 3rd grade, and if they get into 3rd grade, they're not learning how to read, they're reading for content and knowledge, and it's so important. So we could probably get away with bigger class numbers in grades 4, 5, and 6, but as you can see, we do have 50 kids in 5th grade, 3 classrooms, 41 kids in 6th grade with 2 classrooms. So that's the question. So I did a little bit of research, and again, you can make the research speak any way that you'd like, depending on your argument, but there was a really good study, and it was detailed out of Tennessee, and it had started in 1985. But they had taken a look at smaller classes compared to larger classes and the gains that the students were having. So it shows right there, and there's the data and where I've retrieved the information. But the gains not only happen right there, but they happen for years moving forward. So I had the elementary team put together some data for us, and a simple bar graph right here. This is a longitudinal study. So this is student success rate, 3 teachers, 2, and 2. In addition, and again, this is grade 3 reading percentage. Are they reading on grade level? 3 teachers, 3, and then 2. Dip slightly.
This isn't the same group of students then, right? This is different students each year, correct?
Lori, help me out on some of the
This one is longitudinal, but there is one that's, going to be following the same grade later on.
Okay, so this, each year is a different group of students in this one.
Yes, and the difference in that one is, in those first four, there was 3 teachers, and the last one, we have the 2 teachers, and that was the first time that they had 2 teachers in 3rd grade, this 23.
Yeah, so that's not the same group of students, Kelly, that's just first grade data.
Okay.
And then we have grade 2 winter reading. And this is, again, the same thing, 2nd grade, not the same group of students, and with the 2 teachers down here, the data dipped just slightly. Grade 1 winter math. So you can see 21-22 right here, we had 3 teachers, and then the last 2 years we had 2 teachers in the grade levels. And again, this is just one data shot, but I'm sharing it with you. This is grade 1 winter math, and that's on grade level. So in 21-22 we had 3 teachers, and then we had 2 teachers and 2 teachers, just comparing the data. Class of 2033 winter math. So this is the same group of students, Kelly, moving up through. So we're tracking them from kindergarten with 3 teachers, 1st grade with 3 teachers, 2nd grade with 3, and then 3rd grade with 2 teachers. And then finally we had, this is class 2034 winter reading, and it's kindergarten 1st and 2nd grade, 3 teachers, 2 teachers, and 2 teachers. And that's just some information. It goes back to that discussion point about 2nd grade. So currently in that budget, we just back it up. This is what we have. So we're adding 1 teacher than what we currently have, but do we want to consider a potential adding 2 teachers? And that may be a discussion for next month after we get the preliminary budget in front of you with the expected revenue and expenditures. So currently, getting back to the discussion point, these are the current meals that we have here in AC Valley, and that's for 23, 24, and that'll be changing depending on, it changes no matter what. We'll have to make the rebalancing effort. And just keep in mind, that's part of the debate in Harrisburg as well. It's section 672.1 of the school code, and if you're in more than 1 county, as you can see, Pennsylvania has 500 districts, 89 are in 2 or more counties, and there's AC Valley right there, we're the only one in 4 counties. So generally, if we increase taxes, even to the index, it'll go up a little bit in 2 counties and come back down a little bit in 2 counties. So we're not able to maximize the amount of taxing effort. And Pablo shared with us last year that our cyber costs went up 153% more than what we have the ability to raise taxes. Then also, and I talked to Senator Hutchinson about this one because he's on the Finance Committee, part of the fair funding formula, we're actually being penalized at AC Valley because we don't have our taxes high enough. And it's just not correct. So there's a lot of motion to change it. And if this changes it, and it does give us more local control to increase our taxes in each of those counties if we see fit. And that's just a piece of legislation. It's kind of hard to read right there, but that's what's being challenged right now. And again, we don't have all this information, but just so that you're aware, last year that was our salaries and all the additional costs to go into it. So our payroll was just over $9 million. We do have the healthcare benefits in front of you compared to this school year and next school year. You can see that there's a expected, and this is projections here. It may change a little bit with our new List 2 program and the utilization up there and the family plans. But we're up $185,000 in healthcare alone. We have our cafeteria budget, and again, we're not making money, so it's this year account. But as you can tell, last year we had a projected loss of $117,000, and with the free breakfast and getting more kids to eat more breakfast and food we serve, the better it is for the cafeteria. So we're projecting a $51,000 loss. And again, this was our fund balance from 23-24, we had 2.9 billion in there. And, Mark Turnley had presented that information. We had less of a shortfall than what we had projected. And those were just some of the items that we had in our fund balance. So we're thinking about increasing taxes. These are the concerns that we have moving forward. The ongoing cost of cyber school is a discussion point that we've had up there for a good number of years. Basic education funding formula is not set up to fund every school appropriately and provide the education to the students. The additional costs for special education, their funding formula in there twice. ESSER 2, this is the final year, and we've got that money just about spent out. We need to continue to maintain our facilities. We're looking at parking lot renovations, the auditorium needs renovation, our fields, our track, and it all needs work, but it's all on the back burner because we just can't afford to do that at this time. We're not sure about that long-term state, federal, and local revenue. Healthcare costs continue to go up. Fees continue to go up. So those are things that we need to be thinking long-term. And then, as we finish off this evening, we're working on collecting what those revenues look like, the expenditures, and then have a preliminary budget in front of you. Just keep in mind that Governor Shapiro's budget was very aggressive, and there's not much movement in Harrisburg right now. A lot of discussion, a lot of talk, but we're expecting a budget impasse for the 24-25 school year. We're not really sure how long it'll go, but they're pretty far apart. Any questions or clarification needed at this time?
You had good news.
I don't know how bad the news is until we get everything pulled together, but we'll share that. And I know it's a very difficult and tough decision for the school board to think about increasing taxes. We don't have to increase to the index. You can. Just keep in mind that what we don't increase, we don't get that money from year in and year out moving forward. If we had something like House Bill 1422 in there, we can change up how we tax it. We're not too far away from presenting a balanced budget here at the district, and that's what we want to shoot for. So I know there's a lot that you have to be thinking about. We need to provide you with additional information as Andrea pulls together the revenues, expenditures, and keep in mind too that revenue is going to be projected. So depending on the governor's budget and what passes and what doesn't pass, it's going to impact the district. That fair funding formula, they're still working on it. We may get a little more, we may get a little less. So that budget is just pretty much an educated guess for the 24-25 school year at this time.
So discussion. I personally don't feel comfortable making a decision on that when I don't know what, how do we say we're going to increase taxes if we don't know how much we're going to, what our budget's going to be? But I know that holds you guys up. Is there any way you can give us something next month that, let's say, if we go half of that at 3.5, or
I can give you numbers at the end of this month so that you can hopefully have an idea of where you want to be at the May meeting.
What's everybody else's thoughts on that? It'd be nice to have a couple.
Last year by 4%.
It was, I think, 5.5%. Yes.
I'd have to go back and look because I don't remember.
I think you're fine, even if it's just like your numbers 1 at 3.5 and 1 at 7. We feel, if we want to decide in the middle, we have an idea where we're at.
Yeah, I can absolutely have that ready.
And even if with no tax raise, what we're looking at as far as if we're going to be balanced or probably not, and what our options are. I know that makes it hard for you.
No, I'm working on it now, so by the end of the month, I'll have more concrete numbers for you. It's just right now, everything's so fluid that it's hard to have concrete numbers at this time.
John?
Got a question, David or Calder. I've heard you mention a couple of times, like the different, 4 different counties, the different villages and that. And I have a hard time understanding the concept of if we raise taxes here, some go up and some go down. Can you, I don't,
Good luck trying to understand it.
Most
Yeah.
people in the state can't figure out this rebalancing effort. There's a formula that Andrea uses, and maybe you can briefly
Yeah,
explain.
there is a formula, and it goes by like the total assessed values of each county, and then in that formula, you have to take the lowest total assessed value of the lowest county, and use that in the rest of your formula, which rebalances the other three counties, what they call rebalancing the other counties. So in our instance, it makes two of the counties go up and two of the counties go down. So even if we were to raise it 7.1%, we're never really raising to 7.1%. And it's a problem that all school districts that are multi-county school districts are facing. And that's why legislation is looking into it, because it really hurts districts that are in more than one county.
Yeah, it's a difficult concept.
It's been around, that redistricting has been around for a while.
The rebalancing,
No,
yes.
sorry, the rebalancing, yes.
The rebalancing for the multi-county schools.
What counties would go up and what would go down?
It goes by to whichever one that total. And I'll have more information for you, once I pull everything together, that you'll be able to see which counties go up and which counties go down. But it all depends on those numbers that are provided to you by the assessment's office.
So my recommendation would be to table that motion, Patty.
I would like to suggest that we table the motion.
I need a second. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve accepting the donation in the amount of $600 for Chapel Mental Center Club and the Rancher County.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, Cliff, could you do personnel?
Sure. Along A, B, and C together?
No, we have to do them separately because they're separate contracts.
Well, consideration to approve hiring Christian Yang with 5 years experience upon receipt of appropriate documentation as assistant softball coach at a supplemental salary of $1,764. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve hiring Kevin Wetzel with 3 years experience upon receipt of all appropriate documentation as an assistant softball coach with a salary of $1,587. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve hiring Kathy Olsack with 3 years experience upon receipt of all appropriate documentation as an assistant softball coach with a salary of $1,587. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would just make the comment so the public is aware that we held interviews for those positions, even though those positions were filled with volunteers, because we're trying to be transparent in the district about who gets hired and who doesn't. And it's a process that we have established in the district, that we interview candidates, so.
We include union.
Yes, right. Since we're co-op, both districts are involved in those interviews. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve advertising for a primary level elementary special education teacher for a long-term substitute position beginning August 2024 to fill maternity vacancy for employee 371. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve advertising for a second English teacher replacement at Western Security Unit. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to accept the letter of intent to retire at the end of the 2023-2024 school year for Anita Orton, dated March 3rd, 2024, as attached. And she's been at the district since August of 91, so moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? We appreciate all her years of service, and she's going to be missed, for sure. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to accept letter of retirement effective January 3rd, 2025 from Tammy Thompson, dated March 6th, 2024, as attached. She's been an employee of the district since November of 1999, so moved.
Moved and seconded again. We have 6 months to talk Tammy out of it, so please do your best to work on her when you have a chance. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve request from employee 334 to continue utilizing family medical leave for the 12 weeks. A 1-year period is needed. So moved.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, Diane, will you do instructional services?
Sure. So I invited Jess and the kids here tonight as part of my elementary report, so I hope you enjoy hearing from them. That is a result of the STEM elective that we added. We had a STEM team, but there wasn't a whole lot of time during the day to really focus on those kinds of activities. So when we added that STEM elective, Mrs. Melly and Miss Stephanie Best took that over, and they each teach a half a year of it. This competition works out well because Mrs. Melly teaches the STEM engineering piece the first semester, and Miss Best takes over kind of the technology piece of it the second semester. So that kind of opens up Mrs. Melly to work with the kids a little bit extra to prepare for this competition. Like she said, we have 22 kids interested in it this year, so they really are becoming more interested in those kinds of activities and projects. And I think it's a big part to Mrs. Melly and Miss Best's efforts in the STEM collective. So I'm thankful that she brought the kids tonight so you can kind of see how that's progressing. In addition, Mrs. Melly will now be switching gears back to art class, and she will be hosting a K-12 art show on May 8th from 5 to 7 here at the elementary. This is the second year for the art show. It will feature the artwork of our K-6 students, and she invited Mrs. Forsyth from the high school to bring down some of the high school kids, so they will be out in the lobby. Mrs. Forsyth can display some of that out in the lobby. So if you're not busy on the 8th from 5 to 7, stop in and see their work. Other than that, we have kindergarten registration on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And things look pretty good as far as our incoming kindergarten. We have 31 students whose parents have returned packets. A few of them have not yet scheduled their appointments for Wednesday and Thursday, but Mrs. G. Hart will be contacting those families. Last year, I looked at the numbers to kind of compare. We had 33 students that registered in the April pre-registration. So we're just 2 students off from that, and our current kindergarten class is 47. So we do tend to pick up, some students in the summer registration process to get those numbers up a little bit better. So I feel like we're pretty much on track with where we were last year with that. And the last thing, on May 10th, we have our elementary spring chorus concert. So at 1 o'clock on May 10th, if you're not busy, stop in high school auditorium to see our elementary band and choir for their spring concert. And that's all I have for this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Shaw. Any secondary please?
Well, it's that time of the year. The season of testing begins next week with PSSAs at the high school and at the elementary. Along with that, we have the SATs on April 24th. 14 students signed up for that one. 6 AP tests beginning the first part of May. So we're going to be very busy with the tests. At the high school, we conduct with the 7th and 8th graders PSSA prepping. This week it's for ELA, and what we do, periods 7 and 8, we take those kids back to the LGI, break them into groups, and give them some specialized instruction on the most tested part of that assessment. We also talk to them about, how to approach the actual text-dependent analysis part of the test, how to approach, multiple guests, if that's the case. And just really how to, have a little bit of confidence in dealing with those assessments. We did that last year, and we felt that that was a big part of our increase at the high school. Next week, we'll also do that with math for the 7th and 8th grade. On April 26th, we will be having a mock accident taking place at the high school. One of our students, Kate Nace, has been planning the whole thing herself, involving the EMS, the Emlenton Police, and even planning on life flight to make an appearance if the weather is permitting. Prom will be held after that on the 27th at Wolfstead. Mrs. Logan and I, we've been having the 6th graders come up for lunches to sit and have lunch with both Mrs. Logan and myself. And really, it's just a way to begin that process of getting students acclimated to the high school. We have discussions with them about what they're excited about, what they're nervous about, the classes that they like the best, classes that they don't care about so much, and basically just trying to get to know those students and make them feel more comfortable as they come up to visit us. At your table, I placed 2 documents, and we'll start with this one first. Never knew what these things were. We confiscated one today, and in my opinion, these companies they cut no expense on their part to advertise products that don't really look like a typical nicotine product. But these pouches, they put them in their mouth, and you can see they're rated a 3. The green one's a 3. The blue one is a 6, and what that means is it has 6 milligrams of nicotine right in the pack. I didn't even know what the thing was. We took it down to the office, had the nurse come down. Mrs. Lowe came in with us, Officer Sittler. We Googled it online. The nurse said, hey, that's a nicotine pack that people put in their mouth and suck on. The students certainly knew what it was. Students in the classroom, as soon as we confiscated it, they told the teacher, yeah, that's nicotine. We need parents to be aware of these types of things, because as a parent myself, if my kid had that, I wouldn't know what it was, and I think that you really need to just see what's out there. I imagine that this is a lot easier to get than even outright cigarettes or vape. Since we put vape detectors in the bathroom, the vape use from what we feel in the school has really gone down because it's hard to hide something like that. They are adapting and changing the ways they use those vapes. But this right here, that's totally undetectable. There's no way we can police that unless we see it. Along with it, and I can spread this around, this was also confiscated earlier in the year. Looks like a Monster drink, has the same label as a Monster drink. But the only way you can tell is right here, it says hard 6%. That's 6% alcohol. So, you can buy these things in the store too, and if you're a parent and you like these, you want the energy along with the alcohol, you might purchase one. But your kid scoops these things up in the school. So, I just encourage all parents to be aware and to know that these products are out there and they're very popular. I didn't know how popular these things were until I Googled the thing and saw that, it's just easy for young people to get them and use that product.
Could we put that on our website to notify parents, warning or something?
We can probably, I'll speak with Aaron and Jeff tomorrow and see if we can, put some information pieces out there.
I just looked it up, the 6 milligram Xan is about half a cigarette on nicotine. So, which is the worst.
Yeah. You can have whatever opinion you want about those products, as an adult, you're certainly free to use any of them, but I think that it's dangerous to our young people's bodies to be taking chemicals into their body that their body's just not prepared for. Research is out there about what that does, to your ability for your brain to grow.
There used to be a group, and I don't remember who it was. William Hart might actually know because of whether family has come through, that would do parent meetings, just as a guest speaker, come in and anything and talk about stuff like that. And that was tied in with the FBI, and it was drug related, but it also got into alcohol and it was at the time maybe some of them were coming out. But I haven't seen anything on that, but it might be worth exploring that, see. They may
It's
have
probably been
recordings
10
that
years
they get
since
put
we
on.
had it at high school.
They probably have YouTube and stuff like that, that you can put up now. But it's all about awareness, parents don't really want to pay attention.
I think maybe the beginning of next year, I'll try to get something going so we can schedule it at the beginning of next year. I am working with my teachers on specific things in the handbook as far as procedures, and that includes these products, tobacco, and drugs, as well as the attendance issues that we're having. So we have a committee of those people. We're going to get together and try to rework some of that for handbook changes for this year.
Might be beneficial, I don't know, like you said, at the beginning of next year to do a little training on one of the activity days, because you said, teachers probably don't even know what this stuff is, so they're your first eyes out there to say, hey, take 30 minutes and have somebody come in and say, hey, do you know what this product is? Or, if we can find somebody could do the same thing for the parents. Unfortunately, a lot of times the parents you need to come don't show up, so that's the hard part.
We did come back from the senior trip yesterday. We got back here at the school at noon, and no incidents to report. I think a lot of students got their eyes open pretty wide when they saw the city of Atlanta and all that it has to offer. One other thing under athletics, we had 2 students break our school record in track. I don't know if you heard that, but if you see Logan Skavinsky, he ran the 100-meter dash in 11 seconds, setting a new school record. And Hannah Hyphen had a jump of 18 feet, 10.5 inches, which is not only broke the school record, but I informed her because I'm the record keeper for District 9 track. It is within just 4 inches of beating the District 9 track record. So I'm hoping that she continues to work on her jumps and that we see some exciting results this year for our District 9 track.
That's a long jump?
That's a long jump, yes. And that concludes my secondary report.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Dr. Michael, any other estimates of your treatment in the report?
Yes, I'm gonna put a overview for everyone at your seat. It shows the different school districts who have students enrolled at Westview and the amount of reimbursement that we've received to date. We have almost all of our students claimed and are receiving reimbursement for them. We currently have 32 students enrolled, 2 of whom already have diplomas. So for staffing, you saw that we were asking for another English teacher. We expect to go to 4 units, which means we're changing the entire schedule within a week, and then the teacher assignments will get a lot busier because we'll have to add more classes for each teacher to accommodate the additional unit. We are working on purchasing the ability assessment for students when they're entering, and also we've been talking with a vendor for vocational instructional materials, and I'm hoping that they can present to the school board in whatever way you would think would be appropriate, either virtually or in person next month, because there are a lot of vocational training materials that would benefit the students that we could take out of the grant that we got for starting the program. And those materials would lead to professional certifications for our students. So something else that they could use for employment after leaving the program. So I'd really like to, and Dr. McDevitt has been very helpful in talking with them, getting them to the site. We have a room where we would use all of this equipment, and we wanted you to be able to see the types of equipment we're talking about using for the students. So that's another goal for the next month. We have, for special education, we have 20 students with IEPs and one who has requested an evaluation. We have issued 3 diplomas and we have had 4 students discharged. And we continue to address issues of how to best serve the students, how to provide a safe environment for them. I will say, anytime we ask rite of passage, which is the residential, clinical, and medical provider in the building for extra assistance, they're there. Today, they were with us in the hallways. We have extra staff everywhere. They step up and help us anytime that we need. And we do also, I think this was planned from the beginning, but at the very end, you'll see we do also have Paul in the building. He's from the Department of Human Services, Bureau of Juvenile Justice Services, and he is supporting all of the programs in the building every day with an office there. So we have 2 different agencies to coordinate with through the day, and that's very much appreciated. That's the end of my report, unless there are any questions. Yeah.
Do you guys have any problem with districts paying bills?
No, we expected to have problems, and we've not had any yet.
Okay.
The only problems we've had, and we have 2 students in this dilemma, is when there isn't a parent in the building. And then there really isn't a district to pay. Because we can't put a parent in a district. And so we are working on that. But every district so far where we have sent the form and said, we know the student is from your district, has paid. And that's way better than what we expected.
Diane, may I interject one more comment? One thing that I did forget, I placed in your seat a copy of a curriculum for culinary arts students. And I'm not asking for approval tonight. I'd like you to just ruminate over that curriculum over the next month. And maybe next month we can put that up for approval. But basically, it's a culinary course that is advanced and looks at like 3 restaurant type skills for any student that might be interested in opening their own restaurant or moving into that as far as a career goal goes. So please take a look at that, and next month, if we have any questions or comments, about that, we can discuss it at that time.
Can I suggest that you take a look at the serve safe training and management certificates that go along with those, if you're going to take a look at something like this, because they get hired anywhere if they happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Could we have a program report?
We have not been given our title grant amount numbers yet for next year, so we're waiting on those. We are able to apply for the SRSA grant. It's due mid-May, so we're going to begin working on that, and that's the Small Rural School Achievement Grant. And we did get that for this year, so I have high hopes that we'll get that for next year. The amount $16,550. I'll definitely keep you updated on that. Other than that, we are just waiting to hear any word on the 3rd PCCD grant that we had applied for. We haven't been told that we were awarded, but we also haven't been told that we didn't get it. And we're just working on quarterly reporting and reporting for the grants that we've spent out so far this year. That's all I have to report.
Thanks, Diane. Just a couple updates coming out of Harrisburg. There's a number of pieces of legislation out there being discussed. None of this has been approved, but just so that you're aware, House Bill 1434 is a dual credit innovation grant that PD would like to award. And again, it's kind of going back to help to combat the teacher shortage issue that we've been discussing here this evening and across the state. There's House Bill 1443. They'd like to create an advisory to go around to ensure playground safety. And there's also House Bill 1553. And this bill would require all student ID badges to have the National Hotline for Suicide Prevention attached to it. And then House Bill 1665 is a bill that ties into comprehensive school counseling plans. And they're trying to push this off into schools to make sure everybody does have a counseling plan, which we do here at the district. And then a Senate Bill 801 that will require school districts to do K-3 reading competency before any student gets into the school district. And then also Senate Bill 975 is making a request to change a misdemeanor to a felony if there's any kind of school threats. So there's some legislation tied into school safety, but also some other items that, again, it goes back to unfunded mandates. There's a lot of work within those pieces of legislation. I'll come back. I'm part of PASS's legislative committee, and we do have people that go into Harrisburg to discuss these kind of bills and how they can impact school districts. So there's some good legislation being discussed out there to increase school safety. And Diane, that in my budget presentation, that's all I got for you tonight.
Thank you. Consideration to approve the stipulation to settle Carmen House appeal filed by Western PA Child Care LLC in the form of terms presented, with the said stipulation to settle as attached, containing the following terms. Number one, there will be no refunds due for tax years 2022 and 2023, and commencing on January 1st, 2024, the assessment of the WSB facility shall be based on a fair market value of $11,500,000.
Second.
Just keep in mind that this has been a discussion that's been going on at the district since 2005. They were built under the KOZ tax-free zone, 10 years of tax-free. Time was spent up there. At the end of the 10 years, the building was reassessed, and then it was reassessed again whenever they closed back in 2020. So this motion right here has been worked at Solicitor Shekel and Butler County has been working on for a good number of years. And this is a happy medium as far as what the overall assessed value as both parties, including Greg Zappella, building owner, had agreed upon. So the $11,500,000 is a recommendation from Solicitor Shekel as well.
Okay, any other discussion?
What does that mean for the school district? Is there a tax increase?
Yes. Yeah, from what they were paying on there. So that'll come from Greg Zappella. And, they're just rough numbers. It could be an increase of $30,000. Depends on what we do with the taxes as well, but that's just a general number. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Enrollment numbers for face-to-face student enrollment are C cyber service enrollment, ACV cyber service enrollment, outside cyber enrollment, IU classroom enrollment, outside placement enrollment, county school enrollment, and WSTU enrollment dated April 12, 2024 cash. We don't need to vote on that, do we?
No.
No.
We have a student board representative tonight.
Nope.
Doesn't look like it.
The school police report.
Jordan House, Stolen Thunder, we're doing 25 today. We got the
Okay. Okay, thanks, Diane. I think we completed that. We have no new policy.
Nope.
Do we have a maintenance report?
With the new key fobs at your tables on document request, visitor access Monday through Friday from 2:45 to 9. As far as maintenance report, the high school, we did meet with GAF, which is the roof product we sprayed back on the roof back in 2018. We've had issues with ongoing, and we met with a couple representatives from that company to kind of come up with a plan moving forward to lengthen that warranty and get better results through that product. The steamer at the high school is still down. We're waiting on parts. I touched on that last month. And we still haven't got it up and running due to parts issues. Jenna stepping on, she did start with a 3-hour position. She transitioned well. She was actually one of our summer help from last summer, so it was good to work at high school during the summer, and now kind of transitioned into a part-time job. And she is going to Clarendon University too, so she's close. The elementary, not too much going on. I did get playground mulch in there. Hopefully get that dried up a little bit. If we do get some nice days here moving forward. District-wide, just fertilizing the athletic fields, kind of getting those up to speed as much as we can. A representative from Hercules Electric reached out to me a couple weeks ago. I guess it was kind of like money through these power companies, and Hercules Electric kind of allocates that to different nonprofits, school districts, different things like that. And the salesperson is actually from East Brady, so he's trying to keep the money local instead of just jumping out towards Harrisburg or Philly or whatever. So he's going around to the local schools, and that's just money through the power companies. I mean, I'm not totally sure how, logistics of it, but like updating your LED lights, just anything to save on your power bill. And ACV as a district, we do sit pretty well in both buildings. A lot of lighting, different things have been updated. But with that being said, we're going to look at the auditorium lights. They will not do like a full replacement because it's dimmable. There's different things to it. So they're just going to do the bulbs, and then the stadium lights. He's going to give me a quote on that, and that's even like the poles, the fixtures, and even the wiring. I don't know how far we're actually going to go with it as far as cost, but since we sit so well, we're only going to cover like 20 to 30% of the cost, and if we weren't sitting as well, it'd be like a 50-60% range. So that's good and bad. Overall we're in good shape, but those couple improvements, this money won't only go so far. And then just for transitioning away from winter equipment, getting that all put away. We're able to mow a little bit of grass today as much as we could, and looking for more sunshine. That's all.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, Eric, do you want to do transportation?
Sure.
And let me make one note on item F. There was a correction to the wording. Instead of to take bids, we're taking letters of interest. Just to make it clarify what we're looking for.
Okay. A, consideration to approve paying a rate of $1.65 per mile for van automobile transportation for the 24-25 school year. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I think we had that last month. So, are we all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
B, consideration to approve the 24-25 Clarion County Career Center bus run with daily busing. One bus at $155 per day plus one contracted van per day at $1.65 per mile. So moved.
Any discussion?
What's the van for?
Extra students, there's not.
Can't get up one day.
Yeah, yes. Or in the bus. That way, instead of running a whole second bus, they can fit those in the van. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
C, consideration to approve the 24-25 regular bus transportation based on the state formula Pupil Transportation Cost Index of 7.224%. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
D, consideration to approve the request from Tracy Irwin Transportation LLC to add Nina Orton as a driver effective May 28, 2024. All required information is currently on file with the district office. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
E, consideration to approve the letter of retirement effective May 24th, 2024, or the last day of school for Marshall College, bus number 4, dated April 8th, 2024, as attached. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Marcia's worked for us a long time, so we appreciate all her years of service to the district. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
F, consideration to approve to take letters of interest in-house for the bus number 4 route beginning with the 2024-25 school year. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
G, consideration to approve to advertise in-house for bus number 4, 2014 Freightliner 72-seat capacity number 6464. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to miscellaneous. John, would you do that section for us?
Sure. Who's going to clear this up?
Brady was there, but I'll present, we're just working on the budget, and we have a ongoing roof project that we're working on as well, and we've been having a discussion. Tracy Wooderston did submit the repairs grant that's in the governor's budget right now. We're just waiting to hear back on that. We may be able to do the entire roof. If not, we'd break it down per section. We're starting to build up more of a budgetary reserve up there, and there's sections of that roof we may be able to replace. And then this past week, we did have the Technical Honor Society Awards ceremony at Knox, Keystone High School in Knox, and it was very well attended, and there was a good group of kids that were inducted. And that's the report, John.
Copy of the Clarion County Career Center Joint Operating Committee dated March 25th, 2024 minutes are attached. These minutes will be approved at the April 22nd, 2024 job meeting.
You skipped one, John.
I did.
Yeah, the budget.
That budget, we just have to approve that.
Consideration to approve the 2024 Clarion County Career Center proposed budget in the amount of $3,315,531. CCCC cost of $2,077,534, and adult education is $37,988. And the Clarion County Career Center Board Resolution on 2024-2025 budget is attached. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? You have a paper on your seat that you will vote yes or no on the budget. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. So if you would sign that and give that to Tammy on your way out and mark your vote. Thanks, John. You can go ahead.
Yes, the third item is a copy of the 2024-2025 Clarion County Career Center school calendar is attached. The intermediate unit report.
We really didn't have a whole lot to discuss at the beginning for March. Making personnel, go down to where the basements, we could see a couple of the new labs that they have downstairs, which are great for the students to use throughout the IU. But other than that, that's just about it. And our next meeting will be on the 24th.
Thanks, Karen.
Copy of the March 27th, 2024, the review intermediate 6 board agenda is attached. Is there any correspondence?
No.
Technology committee update?
We have that since the last meeting.
Athletic committee update?
We met briefly to discuss personnel items, the interviewing process, and 24-25 athletic budget.
Thank you. Finance committee update?
We haven't met since the last meeting.
Okay. Any old business? Okay, under new business, we need to make a motion to consider to approve ACV as a host site for the My Work Summer Job Career Training Program, and it's at no cost to the district. Okay,
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would assume we need a contract for that?
Yeah, I've requested one. We'll put that in front of the board too.
Okay.
For approval. But if we approve this, then they can get moving on it.
Right, so.
I mean, I'm for it for sure, as long as we have the work, you know.
I did talk to James about it. We do have the work.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. I also want to know, I don't know if you've got anything in your email today, but there is a virtual advocacy week coming up. It's May 13th through 17th. Dr. McNiven and I have done it for the last several years. It's all virtual, so they will send us, once we register, they send you a list and say, we're meeting with this person at 9:30 and this one at 10. Usually most of them are the same day. Sometimes they're 2 days. And it's a virtual meeting where we discuss our concerns and they respond back. So you can register on the PSBA website, and then they'll send you a schedule of who all we're meeting with. Usually we have 4 or 5, don't we, Dr. McNiven?
Yep.
So if you'd like to be part of that, that would be great to register. Any other new business? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
We're not going to vote because I'm assuming you're all in favor. Aye.
Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.
Don't forget to give your